So we're here at Cheap Joe's with Maureen Killaby, and Maureen, I should say it right, is a oil artist, graphic artist, and color pencil artist. And we'll have her website on the video here, and you can go check out the thousands of pictures she has. And,
I wish it were thousands.
but well, you've got thousands on the hard drive that you showed me.
Yes, I do.
So, Maureen, when did you first? Well, welcome to Cheap Joe's.
Thank you.
From Lindale, Texas.
Lindale, Texas, Northeast Texas.
And how big of a town is Lindale?
It's a little over 5,000.
Okay.
Pretty
So
small
it's a
town.
small town.
Yeah, coming
Smaller
from.
than Boone.
Yeah.
I think technically Boone's about 18,000 without the streets. So Lindale, Texas, and you grew up in
Oregon.
Oregon.
Oregon,
And
Eugene, Springfield. Then moved to Portland.
and we are privileged to have you at Cheap Joe's. This is your first time here.
It's an honor to be here.
You've got a full class.
Oh, they're great.
So when did you first realize that you were an artist?
40.
When you were 40? That was last year? No.
Yeah. I'll be 41
You don't look
in
a
a
day
couple
over.
months.
You don't look a day over 39, right?
Yeah. Oh, I wish.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, at 40, I never picked up a pencil. I never picked up a paintbrush. Well, I did crafting things, you
Okay.
know, like my mother was an amazing seamstress, and my sisters all did. Coming from a family of 7, I
Wow.
was second to last. My sisters did crafty things, and so I thought, well, that's probably what I should do. So, you know, you do that stuff when you get married, and I really liked. I'm an outdoor. We did lots of outdoor things, so I would gather flowers and leaves and dry those and put them in picture frames. And I loved plants. Wanted to be in agriculture.
Okay.
I think I wanted to do everything. Never painted. I never drew. We did the color crayon thing, you know.
Right.
But one day at work, I worked for City University. I was a site coordinator there for 7 years. I loved education.
You got your law degree too, didn't you?
I did, but I didn't practice as an
Okay.
attorney. You know, I was practiced as a paralegal.
Okay.
So I got into education after the firm broke up, and I fell in love with it and never looked back. I loved the teaching aspect of it. I didn't teach. City University was a part of. We taught the teachers how to teach.
Right.
But I loved it. But one day at work, we were moving offices, and I just got bored, and I picked up a pencil and started drawing out of a magazine. I was 40. Just got obsessed. It just struck a chord with me, and so I never stopped. I would stay up late, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, didn't realize it, just drawing with pencil. It just became such an obsession with me. So that's how I got started in that. I didn't start painting until later.
And from what I've seen, you're a very detailed-oriented person. So, graphite pencil, you can spend days and hours on a
Months.
drawing, on months maybe even. I mean, so here's a drawing that I got off your website. When you're looking for a subject, what are you looking for, and how long did it take you to draw that subject?
Well, the length of time on that one, it's hard to calculate hours anymore, because now that I have my own art school, it's broken up in segments so much because I'm so busy. But that one probably took me 30 to 40 hours.
Really? So that's almost a whole week.
Yeah, but that's when I had time.
That's when you had time. Okay.
Some of the pieces now take me close to 100
Okay.
because I am so detail oriented. I guess I'm a perfectionist.
So you're not photorealism in that sense.
It's hyperrealism, but not to the point where it doesn't tell us my own story.
Okay.
If I want to create a drawing from a photograph and make it look exactly like the photo, just blow it up and put it on the wall, the picture. I want my myself to come out in those drawings.
Right.
So I may eliminate certain things.
Okay.
When I look for a photograph or I take a photograph, it's something that just hits me. It's an emotional touch.
So you're looking at her mouth, you're looking at her eyes, mostly eyes.
Mhm.
That's what it seems like.
They're the
in
most
your-
expressive.
In your portraits,
Yeah.
you're looking
The
for-
drama. I'm looking for drama.
And eyes draw you in. So,
Mhm. And drama. Really makes
so when you do a drawing, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to tell a story? Are you trying
Mhm.
to evoke an emotion?
Yes. I'm trying to make somebody who walks into a gallery and they see that drawing from across the room, I want that drawing to scream, "Come here and look at me." When I've done that, then I've achieved my goal.
So it's not enough just to be a graphic pencil artist. You're also a
With a pencil.
colored pencil artist. So how does that fit in?
Well, painting or drawing for several years, and just to go back, well, it's hard to explain, but I wanted to be a painter. I love oil
Right.
paintings. I studied a lot of oil paintings and art history. Fascinating to me. I spent hours upon hours upon hours studying the old masters.
Uh-huh.
Well, it doesn't come easy when you put the cart in front of the horse. If you don't get the proper training, like I didn't in the beginning, I had to go back and get proper classical training. My ultimate goal, I always say that oil painting is my passion and drawing is my job, but I think both of them are. But one has to start first, and
Right.
then you progress to color. Well, I knew nothing about oil painting. Going from drawing in a pencil form to color in a pencil form was much easier
Right.
for me to learn color. So I started out using not very good pencils, but I dabbled in that for a little while. I was kind of frustrated with the pencil that I was using because they aren't very good quality now. They're a little bit better then, but I just didn't feel like I was satisfied with that, so I dropped it. I mean, I did color pencil for a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
But then I went straight into oil painting. Of course, made all the mistakes that you're not, that you do.
So oil painting, I have this off your website too. A little bit different than your portraits.
It's much looser, and I wanted that. I know how to be tight and hyper realistic, but
Right.
I wanted to loosen up.
And I could live with that on my living room wall.
Well, there's a couple people that actually like that too.
Did you make prints of that one? Or?
No, I didn't. No. Actually, painted-
How big is that in real life?
18 by 24.
Really?
Just the frame, yeah. I actually painted it twice because I liked it so much.
Yeah.
Then I put it in a show and sold.
So I can tell from this that your composition is better.
That's with proper training.
Okay. So you
Composition
got
is-
into it, you didn't know what you were doing, but you fell in love with drawing.
Oh, passion.
And most people want to paint, they don't want to learn how to draw.
No, they don't.
And so here we have, you're a professional drawer, so to speak.
Yep.
A graphic, what would
Graphite.
you call it? Graphite artist.
Mm-hmm.
And not too many, I would say. I mean, you've got the pen people, right? That do kind of
Pen and ink?
pen and ink.
No, I don't.
They're
They do that, but they still draw. It's still a drawing.
It's still a drawing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's still little stipples and.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
So you became an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hopefully
when
a
did you-
well-rounded one.
When did you become an instructor?
When we moved to Texas, which was 12 years ago, of course, leaving City University, didn't have a job. I got into being a server, but I was still drawing on my own.
Right.
And I really, really wanted to teach. So I got brave and started handing out cards and saying, "Hey, I'm an artist," to some of my customers. "Hey, I'm an artist." it was
So you're working in a
kind of
restaurant.
humbling to
Yeah,
do
right,
that,
right.
you know, and kind of like tacky, but
Right.
hey, you know what? It was a goal of mine, and so you do what you can do, what you have to do. Well, I
Right.
ended up meeting the dean. He was a regular customer, and meeting the dean of Tyler Junior College.
Yeah.
So he put me in touch with the class coordinator.
Okay.
I'm not sure what her title was. Of course, this was a phone call. He gave me her number, called her. And I said, hey, this is so-and-so, I'm an artist, so-and-so gave me your name, and I just wanted to know if you had any teaching positions in the education department, which was a non-accredited department, because I'm not a certified teacher, through the state, like schools. She just said, well, we don't have any openings. Well, I kind of pushed the envelope on that one. So, well, do you have a computer in front of you? And she said, yes. Okay, we'll go to my website. Here's my website. And she said, when can you start? That was in 2006. So.
You've been teaching for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many workshops do you do in a year? Or, I mean, do you travel,
Mhm.
or do you do mostly
I travel.
around your house? I couldn't find it on your website, how many workshops.
I haven't been traveling lately, but offers have been coming in for some reason. I don't. I think that people are from other states are now getting the information that I do workshops.
Well, once you're in the Cheap Joe's catalog, that projects you
know.
right up
To the top.
to the top.
Let's hope
Well,
so.
I was interviewing Sterling Edwards,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Sterling was getting started several years ago.
It takes time.
And he said that he did a workshop here and he was published in the catalog, and then he started getting calls. And I went, that's the first time I've heard that. But I guess we're out there. And
Yeah. When you reach a global, because in November last year I was invited by Artist Network TV to film 4 DVDs, and that was really successful, and so I think it's taken off from there since then. And the DVDs have been going really, really well. I think there were something like 89 in the first month purchases or downloads or streaming or subscription of some kind. That was just for one DVD, and then there were others.
So ultimately, you're just a newbie. You're just getting started, kind of.
Well,
I mean,
getting out there started. Right.
Yeah,
But I've been doing this for 15 years.
right.
But that's, when you're self-taught in the beginning, and then, it wasn't
Right.
never easy for me. It takes a little bit longer. People who go to school in these very well-known ateliers for 3-4 years, and they're off and running, and
Right.
a lot of it's, I wouldn't say luck, or being in the right place at the right time.
Right. So how did Cheap Joe's find out about you?
I think that everyone probably found my pictures. I don't know. They just find me.
Yeah, well, that's because
Because this is the first graphite workshop that's ever been.
it's ever made at Cheap
Ever,
Joe's, right?
yeah.
So that's but you're
I may have contacted her, but
Yeah.
that was 2 years ago.
yeah,
I don't remember.
but you're beyond just being a graphite artist, and that's plus you're good. I mean, good is a relative term, right? But if anybody that can do that
Well,
in
I
oil,
guess I'm like a dog with a bone. I just never give it up. And when I set my sights on something that gets into my inner passion, I don't give it up, and I just go for it and don't stop until I'm satisfied.
Right.
But I don't think I'll ever be satisfied.
well, one
I
question.
always
that-
want to learn.
Yeah, okay, good. One question that ties back to your studying the history and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And a question that I always ask is, if you could be any artist in history, who would that be? And who's been your most influential artist?
Well, they're all inspirational, and they're all my inspiration, but I think that there are probably two
Okay,
that stand out for me. I'm big on Russian paintings.
Okay.
I love studying the Russian artists. Nikolai Fechin is one. He's got such an amazing such a master draftsman. And the other, and his paintings are gorgeous as well. And Joaquin Sorolla,
Okay.
Spanish. The way he captures light outdoors and just gorgeous. I mean, of course, everybody loves John Singer Sargent. And,
Right.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm not, Monet is obviously, that's just unsaid.
Right.
I like his work. I wouldn't say I absolutely love his work, but he was, just phenomenal. But I actually like Frank Benson.
Okay.
He's an American impressionist, and his work was just beautiful, but you don't really hear much about it.
I think, yeah, if I would tend toward any group, it would probably be the Impressionists.
Impressionists, yeah.
When you're in the Metropolitan Museum of Art or the Museum of Modern Art, the Impressionists get you. You know, and some of those big canvases are just...
Sorolla's were huge.
Yeah.
I mean, his paintbrushes were 4 feet long. Because
Yeah.
he wanted to stand. In fact, John Singer Sargent said something about Sorolla. He says watching Sorolla paint was like watching a pig eat. Because he just went at it voraciously, just with an appetite. But I also appreciate the realist painters before that.
Right.
Bouguereau and all those.
So the last question, maybe second to last, is you come in as an instructor, you've got a full class. What do you want your students to leave with at the end of the week? What's your goal for them? That's a hard question, I know.
Well, no, it's not a hard question, it's just breaking it down. What I want them to leave with, more so than obviously the learning experience, is the confidence.
Okay.
To do what it is that they were afraid to do before.
Okay.
Obviously the learning step by step, being confident in each one of those steps, and take the meat from the bones,
Right.
apply it to their own style, learn the rules, and then learn how to break them. Be confident enough to do that, and study, practice. That's what I want them to walk away with, that, to practice and paint or draw at the highest levels that they possibly can. Walk away with knowing that they spent their money
Right.
on something that was good and educational for them. I want them to be proud of what they can create.
And that is a common theme. I've talked to many instructors. They want their students to be confident.
Mhm.
They want them to take home the little bits and pieces that you've imparted to them.
That's really important.
Because they're not going to go home with
Not every single
several
detail of everything that I
finished
taught.
piece, right?
Yeah, no, and that's another thing that a common misconception is, that when people go to workshops, not per se any workshop, that they're not confident enough because they don't know, and that's normal, but they're not here to finish a project and make it become this masterpiece.
Right.
I don't care if they finish or not. It's what they learn from Monday to Friday.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting thinking about it, and we probably are running out of time, but all the different ways that artists have chosen to replicate the human face.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your way.
Mm-hmm.
Janet Rogers can throw some paint on a paper and make you look like you look with very little detail.
But she's got form under there. She's got a
Right.
sense of what she's doing, and a lot of people don't realize that when you're on a project, you have to be able to visualize the end result.
Right.
Because if you don't visualize what it's going to look like in the beginning,
Right.
at the end,
Right.
that beginning and end are never going to meet in the middle, and then
Mhm.
continue.
And then you got Ted Nuttall, who does this Charles Reed kind of
Mhm.
splotchy, but spends months
perfecting it
perfecting it and layering
and keeping the style.
and I love all these styles. I mean, I love I did not realize until I started talking to the artists that there were so many different
processes.
Yeah. And they're all valid, and they all have something to say to me, which, you know,
Because they're expressing themselves
Right.
to you.
So,
So not every, you can study under a certain person and try to emulate that style, and it'll come out, and you can see some of the influence, but eventually you have to come out. So I think that's the coolest thing about being an artist.
yeah.
So much, there's so many things out there. There's just, 15 years of looking at art, I probably only, looked at a drop in a bucket.
So study. How do you get to
And
Carnegie
practice.
Hall? Practice.
Yeah, practice. At the highest levels.
Yeah. So, and I really appreciate that you sharing that there is work to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to overcome your fear of making a mistake or not doing it right to keep practicing.
But even if you do make a mistake, that's a learning experience in
It is.
itself, and learning how to correct it is another one.
Right.
So it's all a journey to me.
So just start saving up for all the mechanical pencils that you've got like 15 different leads, right? And all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, at least 8.
Yeah. Maureen, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank
and
you.
to meet you. And
It's been an honor being here. It's an amazing place. This place is just like, it's magical.
and I hope your flight back is better than your flight here.
Let's hope so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.